All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another new episode of A Whole New World, where we're here to put a spotlight on positive things happening in the community and developing that positive mindset. As always, I am your host, Jacob New, and we always like to start every episode with a dad joke, and today's dad joke is, drumroll, when my wife told me to stop impersonating a flamingo, I only had one choice. I had to put my foot down. Because flamingos keep their one foot up, one foot down. You got to put both down. Oh, dad jokes. So great. So, today is a special episode. In lieu of coronavirus, we do not have a guest, which is perfectly fine. And y'all, I do want to take some time today and to talk about everything that's kind of going on. And, to say the least, this is really an inconvenient time for everybody. Nobody in here is wishing that we had the coronavirus, that schools were canceled, that people are being sent home, people are losing their jobs from this. I mean, and so I want to take a little time and just honor those struggles. And I just want to say, in times like this is when we need to keep our faith strong, and we need to do our best to make the best out of this situation as best we can. And even though a lot of us some of us might be unhappy that we're at home, or there's a silver lining to those things. You can take this time and get closer to your family. You can be more creative to go and, just create different content if that's something that you've been driven to do. Maybe you want to read some books, get caught up. But I mean, sometimes it's just as simple as just spending more time with family. And finding a new normal is kind of unfortunately what we have to do. You might have to change some things that you do or your definition of fun, but you know what? That's okay, because change isn't bad. I've loved seeing all the positive posts through social media of people helping, and just all these businesses that are offering help. A couple that are coming to mind, in case you haven't heard, Spectrum's offering free internet service for those students that don't have internet, to help them get their education on. And I said a couple, the others kind of flew out of my mind, but that's one that stands out. There's numerous educational resources out there that they're making free and available for people to use, and for kids to learn. So you're wondering what other resources are out there. Outside of the podcast, I am a teacher, and I do actually have more. I have access to more resources. But as of right now, I'm sorry, they're escaping me, but I can help get you in contact with those if you are interested in learning about other resources available. I look at this right now, this is just a storm, and with every storm, there's an end, and it might not be a cakewalk, but this too will end. There is a light ahead, and we will reach it, and we're going to work through this. And I say we're not going to get through this, we're going to work through this, because this is going to take some work, y'all. And so my prayers, I'm praying for everybody out there, and that you're practicing that social distance. How was it? 6 feet apart from each other. Man, just keep it strong, and, keep... look for those little hidden gems, those times that you get to spend more time with your family and get to know each other a little bit better. Because in the end, we will all remember coronavirus, but how we react and how you interact with other people, that's what people will remember. So with all this time, I do want to talk about a little bit about growing personally. And so a lot a lot of people might be looking out there like, what do I do with this time? One of the things I suggest is to just take some time and grow, learn. Don't just sit there and let this time fly by. Make this time purposeful. I highly recommend finding a book, a personal growth book. Maybe it's a leadership book, a money book, or something that you've been wanting to learn, and just use this time to just learn, soak in something new that you can hopefully apply later on or help to make you a better person. I know for me, I just got done, and I'm going to talk about this book. It's called How to Lead When You're Not in Charge. Leveraging Influence When You Lack Authority by Clay Scroggins. So a fantastic book that's really got me thinking, and afterwards I'm currently in the process of reassessing myself and how I've been acting, because it pointed out some very difficult things to me about who I am and how I've been acting. So before I get kind of too far into that, it talks a lot about, one of the first things it talks about is being able to find your identity. And I like this, and for so many different reasons that I hadn't really thought about this in a long time, but it's almost like coming up with a mission statement for yourself. I am here to blah, 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 blah. So you're giving yourself your purpose based on your skills, your gifts, your talents that you have, that you've cultivated. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has talents. What is it? Or maybe it's a desire you have. I want to go out and I want to affect X, like the X many people. And so that's essentially what starts to become your identity. And so I think, speaking for myself, I've kind of been coasting through a lot of life, unfortunately, because I haven't had this. I haven't redefined that for myself. And I say redefined because who we are, we change as we get older. We get wiser. We make mistakes. We learn from different mistakes that we've made. And those of you who have gone through some of those really go, 20-year-old me is definitely not the same as 31-year-old me right now. And so just taking some time to just sit down and reflect on you. Who are you? What do you want? What is it that I want? How do I want people? How do I want to affect people? Hopefully it's in a positive way. I mean, that's what we're all about. And so sit down, and I want to encourage you because that's something I'm currently going through. I love to interact with people, and I like to make them smile and help make them happier. So one of my goals every day is just when I wake up, how can I make a positive impact in somebody else's life? How can I help somebody today? And so it's just, so now I have a mission, I have a goal every day when I get up. What is that going to look like for me? What opportunities am I looking for? And now I have this mission. I'm going out, I'm in the world, I'm looking, how can I help somebody? So, definitely grateful for this book, for bringing that to my attention and helping me grow. So this book is obviously talking about leadership, and it discusses, and I thought it was very interesting, that everybody has a little bit of leadership in them to varying degrees, some people more so than others. A lot of that has to do with your ambition. What do you want to do? We're going back to your identity. Do you want to make a big impact in the world? Are you making a small impact? But another thing that really stood out to me from this book, that's causing me to really reassess my thinking and how I've been acting and treating. And so it's I'm not going to change like that, but I am currently in the process of undergoing this change, because it's so important that a lot of times I've found myself saying, I can't speak for everybody, and maybe you can relate to this, but when I'm in this position, I will do this. When this happens, and this is and it's not a matter of when, it's right now. how I'm acting right now is the type of leader I would be. It's so easy for us to fall under that criticism umbrella of, oh, well, if I was in their shoes, I would do this and that. And it's just, we're not in their shoes. I'm not in those shoes. And a good leader, if I foresaw a problem, I should have been like, hey, this is something that I see. What do you think about that? And help bring that up to the attention, and then have a discussion. Or, I mean, every situation is going to be different, but being more of a proactive person instead of a reactive person. And so that's for me personally a change that I'm trying to go through. But if you're sitting there and you're looking at leadership, it's not when I get in this leadership position, it's how you're acting right now, how you're treating people, how you're building people up. That's how you're going to lead when you're in that position, because that's what you're practicing. So, y'all, I mean, I really want to encourage you to also reflect on how you're interacting with people. And in my opinion, anybody in leadership is somebody that brings people up. They're listening and they bring ideas to the table. They're prepared. They help us find a direction to go in, and then we go in that direction. And it's easy. I want to come back to bringing up other people. It's easy to be intimidated by those who are very successful, or they're oftentimes viewed as a threat because maybe they could take your job, but man, they're just killing it because they're on it, they're great. And then what we should be doing is leveraging that person, being like, wow, that's awesome. And then how can I help learn from that person as well? Because even though we're in leadership, we don't know it all. And so, you really got to sit here and just humble yourself. And so, when you're talking about being a good leader and you want to be in this leadership position, or, because I mean, as I said before, everybody's in some type of a leadership position, whether you're the leader of your household, you're the leader of your sports team, or you're in a video game party and you're the leader there. But you gotta, there's so many different variances that you gotta think of it like, wow, I am a leader. And how are you leveraging, building up other people so that they can reach their maximum potential, so the team can reach its maximum potential? Because it's putting my opinion of leadership before and after reading this book is that a leader is humble. They put the team before themselves, which means that sometimes they're not the best person equipped for the job, and that's why you have a team, And so just a couple things that I've really got from this book, and I really want to encourage people to read, because I mean, just it's a life-changing book. And I feel like everybody's got a little bit more time now, that even if you just read 10 pages a day, 10 pages isn't much. It's an easy read. That's maybe 20 days that you have this book done. It's about 200 pages. So, I mean, it has a lot of good information, and like I said, it's really caused me to think, and so I really want to recommend this book to anybody, any listener out there. Again, it's called How to Lead When You're Not in Charge, Leveraging Influence When You Lack Authority. It goes on to talk about different behaviors that leaders have, and how you don't have to be in the leadership position to be a leader. So, those are all things to keep in charge, keep in mind as you go through, and so just a couple things that I just want to reach out and talk to say to everybody. Hey, keep your chin up. The coronavirus, it's a thing, and we will get through it. It's going to be tough, but we work through it. It'll take some effort on our part, but we will be just fine. And I just wanted to share this book because I myself, I'm on this personal growth journey, and one of my goals is to read at least 20 books this year. And I say 20 because I'm kind of a slow reader, and so far I've read 4, and so I just this is one though that really stood out to me, and I wanted to pass on to y'all. So kind of just wanted to share with you guys and let you know I'm thinking about you. So again, the name of the book is How to Lead When You're Not in Charge, Leveraging Influence When You Lack Authority by Clay Scroggins, or probably just look up How to Lead When You're Not in Charge by Clay Scroggins. Really good read. Definitely got a lot from the book. And man, everybody's got this time, a little bit extra time. Figure out a way to improve yourself. Maybe it's reading, maybe it's you're going to take up some art, start drawing, doodling, what have you. Do something to keep your mind active, and interact with your kids if you have kids. And if you're willing to brave out there, find a way to help somebody else. So, and that about wraps it up for me today. And y'all, I just want to, before we close, I just want to say again, very glad that you guys are listening today, and y'all keep it up. Y'all doing great things out there. So, as always, if you learn to do one thing, learn to make a difference. Y'all have a good night.